What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And boom, there it is. The Bitcoin price chart has broken above the final Fibonacci retracement level. So, this actually happened last night when we broke through the 786 retracement level, the last Fibonacci level. For a moment there, I thought, oh my gosh, did we just have nothing more than a short squeeze? Because we broke above it. It was exciting. We're all posting on Twitter, having a good time. Then it loses it. So sometimes what can happen is you'll see tons of shorting that will come out here. And this is essentially people trying to bet on the price breaking down and going lower. However, they'll place stop losses right above that final Fibonacci retracement level. And if the price breaks above it, well, they'll automatically buy in. So it's not that a bunch of people FOMO, it's just automatically triggers it to happen and the price can rise. And then, well, after that, boom, price fell all the way down. So it was kind of like, oh, geez, is that just a short squeeze that now has gone bad? So gave it a little time to play out. Here we go. Next day. All right, we're back up. We're above that level. Not only are we above the 786, but we've taken out the earlier price action from the very start of the day. So what does this all mean, right? We've been talking about these Fibonacci retracement levels for quite a while. And essentially what we're at right now is I think we're nearing the end of the Bitcoin bull run. And I know that's not what people want to hear, but it's something that I've expected for a very long time. It's been in my exit plan and in my strategy to accumulate, hold, ride through all the chaos that took place way back down in here in 2019, 2018, 2020 in order to get all the way up here. And well, with our retracements, with our hits, where we're getting at, it's all looking likely that, you know what, that still is going to be our top, somewhere between $70,000 and $80,000, potentially as low as $68,000, potentially up to 85. Either way, when we draw out these fibs, and if we assume that these levels are real right in here, well, you could see it happening as soon as 68,000. So what does that mean? It means that I'm essentially just looking for an alt season to occur at this point in the cryptocurrency market. I was selling all of my Bitcoin out of here. I sold 65% of my Bitcoin between $45,000 to $58,000, rotating it into the altcoin market as we were down here in these lower prices, and now waiting for an alt season to begin. One of the really critical things for us to say, hey, is it likely for that to happen, was for this whole level to get cleared, the 702 and the 786 to get taken out, because now it reduces the likelihood of a big fat fall back down, and it still looks identically to what we were talking about, where we have our fall, and then we just break up and go on to finish off the bubble. And unfortunately, I know people don't want to hear that word, that Bitcoin is in a bubble. There's been a lot of marketing around it to say people have always called Bitcoin in a bubble, but bubbles happen. Bubbles, you can just replace the word bubble with end of market cycle, that there's multiple market cycles, and when things get overheated, that one market cycle turns into a bubble. And that's what we're seeing happening over here in Bitcoin. But that's what was expected. That's what we were cheering for. We were hoping that it would turn into this big bubble and prices would go crazy, which they have. But as we approach our final area, this is where we're looking for an alt season. We're looking for the rest of the market to come join the party. And as Bitcoin is now up in here, we're essentially just waiting for consolidation, whether Bitcoin's going to break up higher, get up higher, consolidate up in here, or is it just going to consolidate in here? I think what we're looking for the altcoins to start really taking off is for Bitcoin to just cool off. It's proving that it's bullish. It's taken out all of the retracement levels. Now all we need to do is for it to cool off and for the rest of the market to start rampaging. But I'm really excited to see that level taken out. I'm always going to remain cautious and a little bit on the, okay, yeah, still that wall of worry remains a little bit until we can at least poke our head above that all-time high. But it is way more optimistic to see each of these retracement levels get taken out. But man, once that one gets taken out, watch out. But I've re-recorded this video a couple of times because I'm trying to portray what's going on here in the market. And when I was selling my Bitcoin between $45,000 to $58,000, I was catching a lot of flack. For those who have been around here for a long time, if you remember how scary it was to be buying way down in here, you're going to have those exact same feelings trying to get out of the market at the same time. You question yourself, am I doing the right thing? Is the price going to go much higher? Everybody else is screaming that the prices are going to go much higher, yet I'm the dingus over here doing this. But I want to portray to you that we're starting to reach near that time period where the market is going to be wrapping it up. But it doesn't wrap it up gracefully and slowly. It wraps it up with a grand finale of spectacular fireworks and absolute euphoria and craziness. We're starting to see the early signs of that coming with people putting diamond eyes on their profiles, all the celebrities telling you to buy Bitcoin on Twitter, CNBC covering Bitcoin multiple times every single day, and with the new craze of NFT digital art that is selling for millions of dollars and people don't really know why. It's essentially a mad rush of how can I create some NFT and take advantage of the ludicrous amount of money people are throwing at it. But I don't think that still is the mark of the top. The mark of the top will come when those altcoins start to really go crazy. The mad rush to buy every single altcoin that's out there. And that's what every cycle shows us happens at this time period. Bitcoin has a very major knockback as it approaches its top, retraces back to near the high, consolidates, and all the altcoins take off. And I think we're approaching that moment. I think a lot of people need to prepare themselves for what are you here to do, right? Are you going to ride through all this stuff? Are you going to just hold on tight and just let the bubble do itself all over again? Or did you sit in this bear market for years and your opportunity is now about to be presented? I think a lot of people throughout the bear market probably created some false expectations, especially people who thought that XRP would be pegged to the price of gold or believe that a $10,000 XRP price is in any way realistic. I think those people are going to have a very difficult time letting go, looking at their portfolio, which may be $100,000 when they thought it would be 10 million. But I want you to know I'm here to play a mathematics game, and whatever the math tells me at the time is what I'm going to end up doing. And I will most likely catch a lot of flack during this time period of where I do start saying, you know what, I've sold some stuff into US dollars. I've sold this into US dollars. I'm done with it. Over and over again, we'll have people telling me, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Let me go ahead and put my foot down right here. I don't care if I'm wrong. It doesn't matter to me. I had a plan and I'm executing it. If your plan is to buy into this bubble where Bitcoin's at $50,000 and your goal is to get it to $1 million, that's your plan. That wasn't my plan. My plan was to buy it when it was 6,000, 3,000, and hold through a lot of really, really terrible times to get up to here. And that's the percentages for me. To ride it from $3,000 to $60,000 is the same as somebody buying it at $50,000 wanting it to get to $1 million. But I think the greatest opportunity in this market and how I'm placing my bets within this market is for the altcoins. I've got my targets picked out for what I want to happen with the altcoin market. I'll be riding them up. Hopefully, a bunch of them will hit their targets as Bitcoin does reach out here. However, history does show that there is a 40% crash that will come out of Bitcoin at some point, and some of those altcoins will not reach out to their targets until way up here. So my exit strategy for how I will be exiting out of this market is going to be picking and choosing which ones to be letting go of and when. But by the time Bitcoin shows its big major crash and then it comes back in and does its retrace, I'm done. Now, a lot of people wonder, what does that mean for the YouTube channel? I don't know yet. I really don't know yet. I have to figure out what I'm going to do with the YouTube channel. It's such an incredible experience having this thing out here. And ever since I've had the YouTube channel, there's only the most amount of days I've ever stepped away from the channel was 3 days in a row. That's the longest stretch I believe I've ever gone. And that was just 2 weeks ago because I was forced to. But I believe that's the longest I've ever gone is 3 days away from the channel in the last year and a half. But there will have to be some type of directional change with the channel at that point because I am going to be exiting. For all the people who are here who went through the whole bear market, went through everything, and I know a lot of our assets are still low. XRP is still low. A lot of the other ones I'm accumulating are still low. They're nowhere near what we're talking about. It's like what the finish line is nowhere close for those assets, right? But I desperately want people to succeed. I want to have left a positive impact on the world by having this channel. And so I think a lot of mental preparation has to be coming to people soon, that what you're seeing here on the Bitcoin price chart are things we're about to start seeing everywhere throughout the rest of the market. And that it will be very difficult to let go of assets, especially ones that you've been holding on to for years. It's going to be very difficult, but I really want you to succeed. And I hope you find it within your mental capacity to do the things that you should do when the time comes and you find a way to improve your life. And I really hope that's not Lambos. I really hope that's not drugs. Your time is the most valuable thing. And if you can find a way to buy it, then buy it. If we have to go work for an employer, they tell us to jump, we say how high. And we have a price tag on all of us for what we will sell ourselves. But there becomes a point at which you can buy it away. Whether or not you have to buy a year of time in order to restructure what your career path is going to be, going back to school, doing something like that, or whether you're going to buy enough time to actually sit at home. But the reality is, if you go out and you buy some big mansion, but you still have to go work every day to pay for that mansion or to pay the taxes on that mansion, did you dramatically improve your life? Could you continue living in the exact same house that you live in right now, the same apartment you have right now, but not have to work anymore? Those are the things that I think about when it comes time for me to sell. I say, what am I going to do to improve my life? Because I don't care about a Lambo. That is not going to change my life in any way. It's going to sit in a garage and I'll drive it every once in a while and probably end up crashing the thing. The service and maintenance on that thing is going to be like 10 grand every time I take it in to get it maintenance and an oil change. But I will be able to sell knowing that I don't have to work anymore and I can do more extracurricular activities with my kids. That time's not going to last forever. Before I know it, those kids will be grown up and be out of the house, and I'm going to look back on it and say that time slipped away and I didn't do enough with it. That's what I'm buying. So if some 22-year-old kid wants to come on here and say you're selling it too early, well, I might have different goals that I'm trying to achieve in my life than you, and I can lock those in right here, right now. So I challenge you to figure out what is it that you are really trying to achieve here, because I do believe that we're moving into the final phase of the cryptocurrency market, where Bitcoin's going to go on to do its final parabolic top. The altcoins are going to rampage, and that's going to be an opportunity for exiting. And so that'll be my pep talk. But in the end, man, I mean, it's look, the whole reason I have this talk right here, right now, is because I saw what happened with how euphoric things got a minute ago. You can look at the Google Trends data and see that the euphoricness that happened right in there wasn't even close to what happened at the end of 2017. This wasn't even close to the madness that we've seen. So it will get even more crazy and more wild and more exciting, and it'll become even more difficult. And the biggest challenge that we're all going to have to face is going to be battling those emotions that we all do have. But for a lot of us, and I'm really speaking to the people who have just been with this channel for a really long time, we went through a lot to get here. And when that moment comes, it's going to come really fast. It's going to come real fast for those altcoins. I think the altcoin season, we've looked through the past of how long alt seasons last. They last 60 days or less in most cases. Bitcoin's parabolic rise right here has been going on for 140 days, and we're seeing how euphoric people get when it moves that slow. And really, that's really fast compared to all regular markets, regular stock markets. When things move that fast, that's considered incredibly fast. But in the cryptocurrency market, that's not even that fast. When those altcoins start taking off and start rampaging, they happen really, really, really fast, where 100% in a day becomes the norm during an alt season. And it's really exciting because I think it's right around the corner. Once Bitcoin starts to cool off in here, was the start of each alt season that has happened at the top of parabolic rises in the last two major market cycles. And I posted this over here on my Twitter yesterday, it was last night for me, but it was still March 10th on the chart. But we can see that March 10th, 2017, 4 years ago today, was the day the alt season began in 2017. So will it start today? I don't know. But the market cycle of Bitcoin is approaching that time for it too. And so in the coming days, we'll be keeping an eye over there on Bitcoin. And if it can set a new all-time high, I don't see any reason for me to have any more worrying to have about Bitcoin doing any type of further correction. Right now, things are looking real optimistic, but if it touches that new all-time high and gets there above 58,400, it's just waiting for the ticking time bomb of those altcoins to all take off. So I'll start wrapping this up. I'm real excited, but I'm sitting here now in anticipation, waiting to see those things start to go. But if you'd like to get an idea of what it is I'm talking about and the thousands of hours of research I've put into the cryptocurrency market, I made a course over here on bcbacker.com where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the different altcoin market cycles, tying that all together to show why I have the theory that I do and why I'm executing things the way that I am. If it all works out, we'll see. If it doesn't, we'll see. But you can understand exactly all the things that I'm looking at from all of the research that I have done that I outlined over here. I've got my exit plans. I talk about mathematics, rebalancing, percentages, and you can check this out over here on bcbacker.com. You could follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. The 786 has been cleared. God. I don't know what else to say beyond that, except, geez, hold on, here we go. But all right, that's it. I'll wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.